Welcome to Deep Sleep Studios, a place to calmly explore the most astonishing parts of our universe while helping you drift off to sleep. This is a place for gentle attention and unhurried curiosity, and also for letting go. Tonight, we'll sit quietly with a teaching that has brought peace to troubled minds for over 2,000 years. The simple, liberating understanding that some things are within our control and some things are not, and that knowing the difference is the beginning of all tranquility. If you're enjoying Deep Sleep Studios, you can like the video and subscribe for more gentle journeys like this. And if you'd like, leave a comment with where you're listening from and what time it is. It's comforting to know who else is out there quietly. So let your body settle now, wherever you are. Let your breath find its own rhythm, unhurried and easy. And let us begin with something that a former slave, who became one of the wisest teachers who ever lived, once said to his students on a quiet evening in ancient Greece. He told them that of all the things in the world, only a very few are truly ours. Our opinions are ours. Our impulses, our desires, our aversions, these belong to us. But everything else, our bodies, our reputations, our possessions, the actions of others, the turning of events, these are not ours. They never were. This is not a teaching about giving up. It is not about becoming passive or indifferent to life. It is about freedom, the deepest, most unshakable freedom there is. Because when we try to control what is not ours to control, we suffer. We become anxious about tomorrow. We become frustrated with others. We become exhausted by the endless effort of trying to hold the world in a shape it does not wish to take. But when we turn our attention to what is truly ours, our own thoughts, our own responses, our own choices, something remarkable happens. We find that we have more power than we ever imagined. Not power over the world, but power over ourselves. And that is the only power that has ever brought lasting peace. Let us imagine, for a moment, that we are sitting in a small room in the ancient city of Nicopolis on the western coast of Greece. The year is somewhere around 108 of the Common Era. The room is simple: stone walls, a wooden bench, an oil lamp casting soft shadows. An old man sits before us. His name is Epictetus, and he was born a slave in the Roman Empire. His very name means acquired. He was property, owned by another human being. At some point in his youth, his leg was broken. Some say it was an injury. Others say his master broke it deliberately. He walked with a limp for the rest of his life. And yet this man, who had every reason to be bitter, who had experienced the cruelty of a world that treated human beings as objects, became a teacher of freedom. Not political freedom, though he eventually gained that, but inner freedom, the freedom that no one can take away, because it exists in the one place that belongs only to us. The lamp flickers gently in the small room. Outside, we can hear the distant sound of the sea, the Mediterranean, that ancient water that has witnessed so much of human history. Its waves are rolling now as they rolled then, patient and unhurried. Epictetus speaks softly. He says that we are like actors in a play. We do not choose our role. We do not choose whether we will be rich or poor, healthy or ill, praised or forgotten. The playwright has made those decisions. But we do choose how we will play the part we have been given. That is ours. That is always ours. If you are given the role of a beggar, he says, play it well. If you are given the role of a king, play that well too. The quality of your performance does not depend on the grandeur of your costume. It depends on your attention, your presence, your willingness to bring your whole self to whatever moment you find yourself in. This is a gentle teaching. It does not demand that we achieve great things or become famous or accumulate wealth. It only asks that we be present, that we be honest, that we do what's in our power to do, and that we release what is not. The sea continues its ancient rhythm outside the window. The lamp continues to burn. And we sit with this teaching, letting it settle into us like water seeping into dry earth. Let us think about the things that keep us awake at night, the worries that circle in our minds when we lie in the darkness. Perhaps it is concern about tomorrow, a meeting, a conversation, an uncertain outcome. Perhaps it's regret about yesterday, something we said, something we did not say, a moment we wish we could relive. These thoughts are natural. They arise in all of us. But Epictetus would gently remind us to ask a simple question. Is this within my control? The meeting tomorrow will unfold as it unfolds. The other people in the room will say what they will say, think what they will think, decide what they will decide. We cannot control their minds. We cannot control the outcome, but we can control how we prepare. We can control our intention. We can control whether we speak honestly and listen carefully. These things are ours, and the moment from yesterday, it is gone. It exists now only as a memory, a pattern of thought in our minds. We cannot reach back and change it, but we can choose how we hold it now. We can choose whether to learn from it or to torture ourselves with it. We can choose whether to carry it as a burden or to set it down gently and walk on. This is not about suppressing our feelings or pretending that difficult things do not matter. It is about seeing clearly. It is about directing our energy toward the places where it can actually make a difference. Imagine that you are standing at the edge of a river. The water is flowing past you, carrying leaves and twigs and small pieces of debris. You cannot stop the river. You cannot make it flow backward. You cannot control what the current brings to you. But you can choose where to stand. You can choose whether to fight the current or to move with it. You can choose what to pick up from the water and what to let float by. This is what the ancient teachers meant by the dichotomy of control. Not a rejection of life, but a wise engagement with it. Not passivity, but a deeper kind of action. Action that begins with understanding what is truly ours. The river continues to flow. The water is cool and clear. We watch it move, and we feel something in us begin to relax. There is relief in recognizing what we do not have to carry. There is peace in setting down the weight of the impossible. Let us travel now to another place and another time. We are in Rome in the year 62 of the Common Era. The city is vast and noisy, full of merchants and soldiers, slaves and senators. But we are moving away from the crowded streets up one of the 7 hills, to a quiet garden where an old man is writing a letter. His name is Seneca. He was once one of the most powerful men in the empire, a senator, a philosopher, a tutor to the young Emperor Nero. He has known wealth and fame, exile and danger. Now, in the twilight of his life, he is writing to a friend named Lucilius, sharing the wisdom he has gathered over many years. The garden is peaceful. Cypress trees stand tall against the evening sky. A small fountain murmurs somewhere nearby. Seneca dips his pen in ink and begins to write. He writes about time. He says that we are stingy with our money and our possessions, but we are careless with our time, the one thing that is truly irreplaceable. We guard our property carefully, but we let anyone who wishes to take our hours, our days, our years. This is a gentle observation, not a criticism. Seneca is not scolding his friend. He is simply inviting him to notice, to pay attention to where his time goes, to recognize that each day is a gift and that we have the power to choose how we spend it. The fountain continues its quiet song. The cypress trees sway gently in the evening breeze, and Seneca writes on, his pen moving steadily across the paper. He writes about worry. He says that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We anticipate disasters that never come. We rehearse conversations that never happen. We live through our fears 1,000 times, even though the actual event may only happen once, or may never happen at all. This is something we all recognize. The mind has a tendency to project itself into the future, to construct scenarios of failure and loss, to prepare for the worst by experiencing it in advance. But Seneca gently reminds us that this is a choice. We do not have to follow the mind down every dark path it wishes to take. We can notice the worry arising. We can acknowledge it, even honor it as a natural response to uncertainty. And then we can ask, is this happening now? Is there something I can do about it in this moment? If there is, we do it. If there is not, we let the thought go, like a leaf floating down the river. The evening deepens in Seneca's garden. The sky turns from blue to purple to the deep velvet of night. Stars begin to appear, one by one, like small lamps being lit in a vast and quiet house. Seneca sets down his pen. He looks up at the stars, those ancient lights that have shone down on countless generations of human beings. He thinks about how small our worries are, seen from that great height, how brief our lives, how fleeting our troubles. This is not a thought that diminishes us. It is a thought that frees us. Because if we are small, then our mistakes are small too. Our embarrassments, our failures, our moments of weakness, they are all part of a vast tapestry that stretches back to the beginning of time and forward to its end. We are woven into something larger than ourselves. The stars continue their slow wheel across the sky. The garden is quiet now, filled with the soft sounds of night, crickets singing, leaves rustling, the distant bark of a dog. And somewhere in the darkness, Seneca is at peace. Let us return now to the teaching that lies at the heart of all this wisdom, the dichotomy of control. The simple recognition that some things are up to us and some things are not. Epictetus wrote a small book called the Enchiridion, which means handbook in Greek. It was meant to be carried, to be consulted in moments of difficulty, to be a companion on the journey of life. And it begins with these words: some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, our reputation, our office, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. These words were written nearly 2,000 years ago, but they speak to us as clearly as if they were written this morning. Because the human condition has not changed. We still worry about things we cannot control. We still exhaust ourselves trying to manage the unmanageable. We still forget, again and again, where our true power lies. But the teaching is patient. It does not demand that we master it immediately. It only asks that we return to it again and again whenever we lose our way. And each time we return, we understand a little more. We release a little more. We find a little more peace. Let us imagine that we are walking now through a landscape that exists somewhere between memory and dream. It is a place of gentle hills and quiet valleys, of streams that wind through meadows of soft grass. The sky is the color of early evening, that soft blue that comes just before the first stars appear. We are walking slowly, without destination. There is nowhere we need to be, nothing we need to do. We are simply present, simply here, simply breathing. And as we walk, we notice that we're carrying something. A bag, perhaps, or a bundle. It is heavy. We have been carrying it for so long that we have forgotten what is inside. But now, in this quiet place, we have the time and the space to look. We set the bundle down on the soft grass. We open it carefully. And inside, we find all the things we have been trying to control that were never ours to control. There is the opinion that someone else holds of us. We have carried it for years, trying to shape it, trying to improve it, trying to make them see us as we wish to be seen. But their opinion was never ours. It lives in their mind, not ours. It is shaped by their experiences, their fears, their needs. We can set it down now. We can let it go. There is the outcome of a situation that has not yet unfolded. We have rehearsed it 1,000 times, trying to ensure that it goes the way we want. But the future is not ours. It will unfold as it unfolds, shaped by countless forces beyond our control. We can prepare as best we can, and then we can release it. We can trust that we will meet whatever comes with the resources we have. There is the past, with all its mistakes and regrets. We have carried it like a stone, revisiting it again and again, wishing we could change it. But the past is not ours either. It is gone, dissolved into the great river of time. We can learn from it, and then we can set it down. We can forgive ourselves as we would forgive a friend. The bundle is lighter now. We have not thrown anything away. We have simply recognized what was never ours to carry. And in that recognition, there is relief. There is freedom. There is space to breathe. We pick up the bundle again, but it is different now. It contains only what is truly ours, our intentions, our responses, our choices, our capacity to pay attention, to be present, to meet each moment with as much wisdom and kindness as we can. This is enough. This is more than enough. This is everything we need. We continue walking through the gentle landscape. The first stars are appearing now, faint points of light in the deepening blue. The grass is soft beneath our feet. The air is cool and sweet. And we realize that this is what freedom feels like. Not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of clarity. Not the control of everything, but the acceptance of what is. Not the end of effort, but the beginning of right effort. Effort directed toward what we can actually change. Let us sit now beside one of the streams that winds through this landscape. The water is clear and cold, flowing over smooth stones. We can see the bottom, pebbles of many colors, arranged by the current into patterns that are always changing. The stream does not struggle against its banks. It does not try to flow uphill. It simply moves in the direction that is open to it, following the contours of the land, finding its way around obstacles with patient persistence. There is wisdom in this water. It shows us what it looks like to accept the given conditions of our lives while still moving, still flowing, still finding our way. The stream does not become stagnant because it cannot flow everywhere. It becomes more powerful because it flows where it can. We dip our hands in the cool water. We feel its gentle pressure against our palms. And we think about all the energy we have spent trying to flow uphill, trying to push against immovable obstacles, trying to be somewhere other than where we are. What if we could redirect that energy? What if we could use it to flow more fully in the direction that is open to us? What if we could trust that the path of least resistance is not weakness, but wisdom? The stream continues on its way, murmuring softly over the stones. We watch it go, and we feel something in us begin to move with it, a releasing, a letting go, a gentle surrender to the way things are. Let us return now to the ancient world, to another teacher who understood these things deeply. We are in Rome again, but this time we are in the imperial palace, in the private chambers of the emperor himself. The year is 170 of the Common Era. The emperor's name is Marcus Aurelius, and he is one of the most powerful men in the world. He commands legions of soldiers. He rules over millions of people. His word is law throughout the vast Roman Empire. And yet, here in his private chambers, late at night, he is writing in a small notebook, not decrees or commands, but reminders to himself, observations, meditations, gentle corrections to his own thinking. He writes in Greek, the language of philosophy, and he writes for no audience but himself. These pages were never meant to be published. They were his private practice, his way of staying grounded amid the chaos and responsibility of his position. He writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The candle flickers on his desk. Outside, the palace is quiet. The guards are at their posts. The servants are asleep. And the most powerful man in the world is reminding himself of the limits of his power. Because Marcus understood something that many powerful people forget. He understood that his position gave him influence over external events, but not control. He could issue commands, but he could not control how people would respond to them. He could make decisions, but he could not control their outcomes. He could shape the world, but he could not make it obey. And so, like Epictetus and Seneca before him, he turned his attention inward. He focused on the one thing that was truly his own mind, his own judgments, his own responses to whatever life brought him. He writes, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is not the writing of a man who has given up on life. This is the writing of a man who has learned to appreciate it more deeply because he has stopped trying to control it. He has found gratitude not in spite of his limitations, but because of them. Because recognizing what we cannot control makes us more aware of the preciousness of what we have. The candle burns lower. Marcus sets down his pen and looks out the window at the night sky. The same stars that Seneca watched, that Epictetus contemplated, that human beings have gazed upon since the beginning of our time on this earth. He thinks about the generations that came before him and the generations that will come after. He thinks about how brief his time is, how small his troubles are in the vast sweep of history. And he finds peace in this thought, not despair, but peace, because it reminds him of what matters. It reminds him to focus on what he can do here, now, in this moment. He writes, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And then he closes his notebook and goes to sleep, knowing that tomorrow will bring new challenges, new difficulties, new opportunities to practice what he has learned. Knowing that he will fail sometimes, and that failure is part of the practice. Knowing that the goal is not perfection, but presence, not control, but clarity. Let us carry these teachings with us now as we continue our journey through this quiet night. Let us hold them gently, not as commandments to be obeyed, but as invitations to be considered, as possibilities to be explored. The landscape around us has changed. We are walking now through a forest, the trees tall and ancient around us. Their trunks are wide, their bark rough and textured. Their branches reach up toward the sky, creating a canopy that filters the starlight into soft, scattered patterns. The forest floor is covered with fallen leaves, soft and quiet beneath our feet. We can smell the rich scent of earth and decay, the cycle of life and death that has been turning in this place for thousands of years. A tree falls in the forest. Not now, not while we are watching, but at some point in the past. It lies across our path, its trunk covered with moss, its branches slowly returning to the soil from which it grew. We could see this fallen tree as an obstacle. We could be frustrated that it blocks our way. We could spend our energy wishing it were not there, complaining about the inconvenience, demanding that the forest be different than it is. Or we could see it as simply part of the landscape, something to step over or walk around, something that creates new possibilities, a place to sit and rest, a home for insects and small animals, a nurse log that will nourish new trees as it decays. This is the dichotomy of control in action. The fallen tree is not within our power, but our response to it is. Our judgment about it is. Our choice of how to proceed is. And this is true of every obstacle we encounter in life. The obstacle itself may be beyond our control, but our response is always ours. Our attitude is always ours. Our choice of how to meet the difficulty is always ours. We step over the fallen tree and continue on our way. The forest opens up ahead of us, the trees becoming sparser, the sky becoming more visible. We are approaching a clearing, a place where the canopy parts and the stars shine down unobstructed. We step into the clearing and look up. The night sky is vast above us, filled with more stars than we could ever count. The Milky Way stretches across the darkness like a river of light, billions of suns burning in the infinite distance. Marcus Aurelius used to practice something he called the view from above. He would imagine himself rising up from his body, up from the city, up from the earth itself, until he could see the whole world spread out below him. And from that height, he would observe the smallness of human concerns, the brevity of human lives, the way that everything that seems so important to us is just a tiny part of a vast and ancient cosmos. This was not a practice of despair, it was a practice of perspective. It helped him remember what mattered. It helped him release what did not. It helped him find peace in the midst of difficulty by seeing that difficulty in its proper context. Let us try this now, here in the clearing, under the stars. Let us imagine ourselves rising up, gently and slowly, like a leaf carried by a warm updraft. We rise above the trees, and we can see the forest spreading out below us, a dark carpet of green and shadow. We rise higher, and we can see the hills and valleys, the streams and meadows, the landscape we have been walking through. Higher still, and we can see the curve of the earth, the thin blue line of the atmosphere, the vast oceans and continents. We can see cities glowing in the darkness, millions of people going about their lives, each one carrying their own hopes and fears, their own joys and sorrows. Higher still, and the earth becomes a small blue marble hanging in the darkness of space, so beautiful, so fragile, so precious. And from this height, we can see our worries for what they are, small, temporary, part of a much larger story, not unimportant. Our lives matter, our feelings matter, our struggles matter, but held in a larger context, seen as part of something greater than ourselves. We float here for a moment, in the silence of space, looking down at our home, and we feel something shift in us, a releasing of tension, a softening of grip, a willingness to let go of what we cannot control and to embrace what we can. Slowly, gently, we begin to descend. Back through the atmosphere, back through the clouds, back to the clearing in the forest where our body waits. We settle back into ourselves, feeling the ground beneath our feet, the cool night air on our skin. But something has changed. We carry the view from above with us now. We remember what we saw, and it helps us hold our difficulties more lightly. Let us walk on through the forest, through the night, through this gentle exploration of ancient wisdom. The path ahead is soft and winding, leading us deeper into the quiet. As we walk, let us think about the people in our lives, the ones we love, the ones we struggle with, the ones who have hurt us, the ones we have hurt. We cannot control them. We cannot control what they think, what they feel, what they do. We cannot make them understand us. We cannot make them love us. We cannot make them change. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, because we care about these people, because their actions affect us, because we want so badly for things to be different than they are. But Epictetus would gently remind us that other people are not within our power. They are like the weather, like the turning of the seasons, like the falling of the rain. They are part of the external world, the world of things that happen to us rather than things that come from us. What is within our power is how we respond to them, how we treat them, what we choose to say and do, whether we meet their actions with anger or with understanding, whether we hold on to resentment or practice forgiveness, whether we try to control them or allow them to be who they are. This does not mean we have to accept harmful behavior. It does not mean we cannot set boundaries or protect ourselves. It means that we recognize the limits of our influence and focus our energy where it can actually make a difference. We can choose to be kind even when others are not kind to us. We can choose to be honest even when others are not honest with us. We can choose to be patient even when others test our patience. These choices are ours. They are always ours. And in making these choices, we become the kind of person we want to be. Not because we have controlled the world, but because we have taken responsibility for ourselves. Not because we have changed others, but because we have changed the one person we have the power to change. The forest is thinning now. We can see open sky ahead, the darkness softening toward the horizon. We are approaching another clearing, another place of rest and reflection. We emerge from the trees and find ourselves on the shore of a small lake. The water is perfectly still, reflecting the stars like a mirror. The silence is profound, broken only by the occasional call of a night bird or the soft splash of a fish rising to the surface. We sit down on the shore, our feet almost touching the water. The ground is cool and slightly damp. The air smells of water and earth and growing things. Let us think now about the things we desire, the things we want that we do not have, the achievements we long for, the possessions we crave, the recognition we seek. Desire is natural. It is part of being human. But the ancient teachers would remind us that desire, when directed toward things outside our control, is a source of suffering. Because we cannot guarantee that we will get what we want. And even if we do, we cannot guarantee that we will keep it. Epictetus said that we should be careful what we desire. If we desire things that are not within our power, wealth, fame, the approval of others, we set ourselves up for disappointment. We make our happiness dependent on things we cannot control. But if we desire things that are within our power, to act with integrity, to respond to life with wisdom, to be present in each moment, then we can always have what we want, because these things are ours. They do not depend on external circumstances. They do not require the cooperation of the world. This is a radical teaching. It inverts our usual way of thinking. We are accustomed to believing that happiness comes from getting what we want. But the ancient teachers suggest that happiness comes from wanting what we can get. And what we can always get is the right use of our own minds. The lake is still before us. The stars are reflected in its surface. And we sit with this teaching, letting it settle into us. What if we could shift our desires? What if we could learn to want what is actually available to us? What if we could find satisfaction not in acquiring more, but in using well what we already have? This is not about giving up ambition or ceasing to strive. It is about directing our striving toward the right things. It is about recognizing that the most important achievements are internal, not external. It is about finding freedom, not in getting what we want, but in wanting what is good. The water ripples slightly as a breeze passes over the lake. The reflection of the stars shimmers and reforms, and we feel something in us begin to shift, like the water, like the light. Let us continue our journey now, following the shore of the lake as it curves around toward the east. The sky is beginning to lighten there, the first hint of dawn approaching. But we are in no hurry. The night is still deep. There is still time for rest and reflection. As we walk, let us think about fear. The fears that keep us awake at night. The fears that hold us back from living fully. The fears that whisper in our ears that we are not enough, that we will fail, that something terrible is about to happen. Fear, like desire, is natural. It is part of our survival mechanism, designed to protect us from danger. But fear, when directed toward things outside our control, becomes a source of unnecessary suffering. We fear illness, but we cannot control whether we become ill. We fear loss, but we cannot control whether we lose what we love. We fear death, but we cannot control when or how we will die. The ancient teachers did not deny these fears. They did not pretend that illness and loss and death are not real. But they suggested a different relationship with them. They suggested that we could acknowledge these possibilities without being controlled by them. Seneca wrote that we should rehearse the things we fear, not to frighten ourselves, but to prepare ourselves. He called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. By imagining the worst that could happen, we rob it of its power to surprise us. We realize that we could survive it. We find resources within ourselves that we did not know we had. But this rehearsal is different from worry. Worry is repetitive and unproductive. It goes over the same ground again and again without resolution. Rehearsal is deliberate and purposeful. It faces the fear directly, considers how we would respond, and then lets it go. The lake continues beside us, calm and still. The shore is soft beneath our feet, and we think about the fears we carry, the ones that have been with us for so long that we have forgotten they are there. What if we could face them? What if we could look at them directly, acknowledge them, and then release them? What if we could recognize that most of what we fear is outside our control, and that worrying about it does not protect us? The only thing that protects us is our own response, our ability to meet whatever comes with as much wisdom and courage as we can, our willingness to adapt, to learn, to grow, our trust in our own resilience. This is within our power. This is always within our power. And recognizing this, we can begin to let go of the fears that have been weighing us down. The sky is lightening further now. The stars are beginning to fade, one by one, as the first light of dawn approaches. But we are not watching the sky. We are watching the lake, the way the light changes on its surface, the way the darkness gives way to soft shades of grey and blue. Let us rest here for a moment, on the shore of the lake, as the night slowly transforms into day. Let us breathe deeply and feel the peace of this place. The ancient teachers spoke often of the present moment. They said that it is the only moment we truly have. The past is gone, the future has not yet arrived, but the present is always here, always available, always ours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He meant that we should not let our minds wander into the past or the future, but should focus on what is happening right now. Because the present moment is the only place where we can act. It is the only place where we can make choices. It is the only place where life actually happens. When we are lost in the past, we are not living, we are remembering. When we are lost in the future, we are not living, we are imagining. But when we are present, fully present, we are alive in the deepest sense. This is harder than it sounds. The mind has a tendency to wander. It drifts into memories and fantasies, plans and worries. It rarely stays still in the present moment. But we can practice. We can notice when the mind has wandered and gently bring it back. We can anchor ourselves in the sensations of the body, the feeling of the ground beneath us, the sound of the water, the smell of the air. We can use these sensations as a doorway to the present. Right now, in this moment, there is nothing to fear. Right now, there is nothing to regret. Right now, there is only this: the lake, the shore, the lightening sky, the breath moving in and out of our body. This is enough. This is more than enough. This is everything. Let us stay here a little longer in this peaceful place as the dawn slowly approaches. Let us practice being present, being here, being now. The water of the lake is beginning to reflect the colors of the coming day. Soft pinks and oranges are appearing on the horizon, painting the surface of the water with gentle light. The birds are beginning to stir, their first tentative songs breaking the silence of the night. We watch the colors change, the light grow, the world awaken, and we feel a sense of gratitude rising in us. Gratitude for this moment. Gratitude for this life. Gratitude for the simple fact of being here, being conscious, being able to witness the beauty of the world. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices the ancient teachers recommended. Not gratitude for specific things, but gratitude as a way of being. A recognition that life itself is a gift, that each moment is precious, that we are incredibly fortunate to be here at all. Epictetus said that we should not say, "I have lost something," but rather, "I have returned it," because nothing truly belongs to us. Everything we have, our possessions, our relationships, our very lives, is on loan. It has been given to us for a time, and one day it will be taken back. This might sound sad, but it is actually liberating, because when we recognize that nothing is permanently ours, we can appreciate it more fully while we have it. We can hold it lightly, without grasping. We can enjoy it without fearing its loss. The sun is rising now, a golden disk emerging from the horizon. Its light spills across the lake, turning the water into liquid gold. The warmth touches our face, gentle and welcome after the cool of the night. We have been walking through the darkness, exploring the wisdom of the ancient teachers. And now the light is returning, as it always does. The night gives way to day. The darkness gives way to light. The cycle continues, as it has for billions of years. And we are part of this cycle. We are woven into the fabric of the universe, connected to everything that has been and everything that will be. We are small, yes. Our lives are brief. But we are also part of something vast and beautiful and eternal. This is the view from above. This is the perspective that the ancient teachers cultivated. Not to make us feel insignificant, but to help us see our place in the larger whole. To help us release our grip on the things we cannot control. To help us find peace in the midst of change. Let us rise now from the shore of the lake and continue our journey. The day is beginning, but our exploration is not over. There is still more to discover, more to reflect upon, more to release. We walk along the shore, the morning light growing stronger around us. The lake is alive now with the sounds of birds and insects, the splash of fish, the rustle of small animals in the underbrush. The world is waking up, and we are waking with it. As we walk, let us think about the nature of change. Everything changes. This is one of the most fundamental truths of existence. The lake we are walking beside is not the same lake it was a moment ago. The water is flowing, evaporating, being replenished by rain. The shore is slowly eroding. The plants are growing and dying. Nothing stays the same. The ancient teachers understood this deeply. They called it impermanence. They said that attachment to things that change is a source of suffering because we are trying to hold on to something that cannot be held. But they did not say that we should not love the things that change. They said that we should love them with open hands. We should appreciate them while they are here, without demanding that they stay forever. We should enjoy the beauty of the moment, knowing that the moment will pass. This is a difficult practice. We are wired to seek permanence, to build things that last, to create stability in an unstable world. And there is nothing wrong with these impulses. But when we forget that everything changes, we set ourselves up for disappointment. The wise person, according to the ancient teachers, is one who can enjoy the good things of life without clinging to them, who can face the difficult things without being destroyed by them, who can move through change with grace and equanimity, knowing that this too shall pass. The shore of the lake curves around to the north, and we follow it. The sun is higher now, its warmth spreading across the land. The dew is beginning to evaporate from the grass, rising in thin wisps of vapour. We are approaching a small cottage, nestled among the trees at the edge of the lake. It is simple and weathered, its wooden walls grey with age. Smoke rises from its chimney, suggesting that someone is home. Let us imagine that this cottage belongs to one of the ancient teachers. Perhaps it is where Epictetus spent his final years, after he was exiled from Rome and settled in Nicopolis. Perhaps it is a place of retreat for Seneca, away from the noise and intrigue of the capital. Perhaps it is a simple dwelling that Marcus Aurelius visited in his imagination, a place of peace and solitude. We approach the cottage and knock gently on the door. After a moment, it opens, and we are welcomed inside. The interior is simple but comfortable. There is a fire burning in the hearth, casting warm light across the room. There are shelves lined with scrolls and books. There is a wooden table with a single chair, and on the table, a cup of something warm and fragrant. We are invited to sit, and we do. The warmth of the fire is soothing. The smell of the drink is comforting, and we feel, for a moment, as if we have come home. The teacher sits across from us, their face lined with age and wisdom. They do not speak at first. They simply look at us with kindness and understanding, as if they know everything we have been through, everything we are struggling with, everything we hope for. And then they begin to speak, softly and gently, their voice like the crackling of the fire. They speak about the nature of the good life. They say that it is not found in external circumstances, where fame or pleasure. It is found in the quality of our character, in the way we treat others, in the way we respond to difficulty, in the way we use the time we have been given. They speak about virtue, not as a set of rules to be followed, but as a way of being. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. These are the qualities that make a life worth living. These are the things that are always within our power, no matter what external circumstances we face. They speak about acceptance, not passive resignation, but active engagement with reality as it is. Accepting what we cannot change, changing what we can, having the wisdom to know the difference. They speak about community, the recognition that we are all connected, that we are all part of the same human family, that what affects one of us affects all of us. They say that we should treat others as we would want to be treated, that we should be kind, even when kindness is not returned, that we should forgive, even when forgiveness is difficult. They speak about death, not as something to be feared, but as something to be accepted. They say that death is natural, that it is part of the cycle of life, that it gives meaning to our days by reminding us that they are limited. They say that we should live each day as if it were our last, not in a frantic or desperate way, but with full attention and appreciation. The fire crackles softly. The warmth surrounds us, and we listen absorbing the wisdom that has been passed down through the centuries. The teacher pauses and looks at us with gentle eyes. They say that we already know these things. We have always known them. They are written in our hearts, in the deepest part of our being. We have simply forgotten. And the practice, they say, is remembering, coming back again and again to what we know to be true, releasing the illusions that distract us, focusing on what matters, being present, being kind, being at peace. They hand us the cup of warm drink, and we take a sip. It is sweet and comforting, like nothing we have tasted before. It warms us from the inside, spreading a sense of calm and well-being throughout our body. We sit in silence for a while, the teacher and us, watching the fire burn. There is nothing more that needs to be said. The teaching has been given. Now it is up to us to live it. Eventually, we rise and thank the teacher for their hospitality. They smile and nod, and we sense that they have welcomed many visitors like us over the years. Many seekers, many questioners, many people looking for peace. We step outside the cottage, back into the morning light. The lake is sparkling now, the sun high in the sky. The world is fully awake, alive with colour and sound and movement. But we carry the quiet of the cottage with us. We carry the wisdom of the teacher. We carry the peace that comes from understanding what is within our power and what is not. Let us walk on now, through this beautiful day, through this gentle landscape. Let us continue to explore, to reflect, to release. The path leads us away from the lake, up a gentle hill covered with wildflowers. The colours are extraordinary, purple and yellow and white and red, a tapestry of blooms swaying in the breeze. Bees are moving among the flowers, their soft buzzing a constant background sound. We climb the hill slowly, taking our time. There is no rush. There is nowhere we need to be. We are simply present, simply here, simply breathing. At the top of the hill, we pause and look back. We can see the lake below us, the cottage at its edge, the forest we walked through in the night. We can see the path we have travelled, winding through the landscape like a thread, and we realise that this journey is not just through a physical landscape. It is through the landscape of our own minds. The places we have visited, the forest, the lake, the cottage, are also places within us. The teachings we have heard are also teachings we have always known. The dichotomy of control is not just an ancient philosophy. It is a map of the human heart. It shows us where we are free and where we are bound. It shows us where we can act and where we must accept. It shows us the path to peace. We stand on the hilltop, the wind gentle on our face, the sun warm on our skin, and we feel a sense of clarity that we have not felt in a long time, a sense of knowing what matters, a sense of being at home in ourselves. Let us descend the other side of the hill now into a valley we have not yet explored. The path leads down through meadows of tall grass, past small streams and clusters of trees. The landscape is peaceful and inviting. As we walk, let us think about the practical application of what we have learned. How do we actually live this teaching? How do we bring it into our daily lives? The ancient teachers were very practical. They did not just philosophize in the abstract. They gave specific advice, specific practices, specific exercises. One practice they recommended is the morning reflection. When we wake up, before we begin our day, we take a few moments to remind ourselves of what is within our power and what is not. We think about the challenges we might face and how we will respond to them. We set our intention to focus on what we can control and to release what we cannot. Another practice is the evening review. At the end of the day, before we sleep, we look back over what has happened. We ask ourselves, where did I succeed in focusing on what is within my power? Where did I fail? What can I learn from today that will help me tomorrow? This is not a practice of self-criticism. It is a practice of self-awareness. We observe ourselves with kindness and curiosity, not with judgment. We note what happened, learn from it, and let it go. Another practice is the pause. When we encounter a difficult situation, a frustration, a conflict, a disappointment, we pause before reacting. We take a breath. We ask ourselves, what is within my power here? What is not? And then we respond from that place of clarity, rather than reacting from habit or emotion. These practices are simple, but they are not easy. They require attention and effort. They require us to overcome the momentum of our usual patterns. But with time and practice, they become more natural. They become a way of being, not just a technique. The valley opens up before us, wide and green. A river runs through it, wider than the streams we have crossed before. Its water is deep and slow-moving, reflecting the blue of the sky. We approach the river and sit on its bank. The grass is soft and cool. The sound of the water is soothing, a constant, gentle murmur. Let us think now about the relationship between acceptance and action. This is one of the most misunderstood aspects of the ancient teaching. People sometimes think that acceptance means giving up, becoming passive, not trying to change anything. But this is not what the teachers meant. Acceptance is not the opposite of action. It is the foundation of effective action. When we accept what is outside our control, we stop wasting energy on the impossible. We stop fighting against reality. We stop exhausting ourselves with futile efforts. And this frees up energy for the things we can actually change. It allows us to act more effectively, more wisely, more powerfully. It allows us to focus our efforts where they can make a real difference. The serenity prayer, which is used in many recovery programs today, captures this beautifully. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is the dichotomy of control in a nutshell. Serenity for what we cannot change, courage for what we can, wisdom to know the difference. The river flows on, carrying leaves and twigs on its surface. We watch them go, carried by the current to some unknown destination, and we think about the things we have been carrying that are not ours to carry. The worries, the fears, the attempts to control the uncontrollable. What if we could set them down like leaves on the water? What if we could let them float away, carried by the current of life? What if we could trust that the river knows where it is going, even if we do not. This is not irresponsibility. It is wisdom. It is recognizing that we are part of something larger than ourselves, something that has its own direction and momentum. We can participate in this flow, we can contribute to it, but we cannot control it. And in that recognition, there is freedom, there is peace, there is rest. Let us continue along the river now, following its course through the valley. The day is warm and pleasant, the sun high overhead. The landscape is gentle and inviting. As we walk, let us think about the people who have practiced this teaching over the centuries. Not just the famous teachers, Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, but the countless ordinary people who have found peace through these ideas. Soldiers facing battle, prisoners facing confinement, the sick facing illness, the bereaved facing loss. People in every situation, in every era, in every culture, who have discovered that peace is not about controlling the world, but about controlling our response to it. This teaching has been a refuge for so many, a source of strength in times of weakness, a light in times of darkness, a companion in times of loneliness, and it is available to us too. It is our inheritance, passed down through the generations. It is a gift from those who came before, offered freely to anyone who is willing to receive it. We do not have to be philosophers to practice this teaching. We do not have to be wise or learned or accomplished. We just have to be willing to look at our lives honestly, willing to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot, willing to focus our energy where it can make a difference. This is the path to peace, not a distant destination, but a way of walking. Not something we achieve once and for all, but something we practice moment by moment, day by day. The river curves ahead, disappearing around a bend. We follow it, curious to see what lies beyond. The landscape continues to unfold, gentle and beautiful. Around the bend, we find a small village, houses of stone and wood clustered along the riverbank, gardens full of vegetables and flowers, children playing in the street, the smell of bread baking somewhere nearby. This is a place of ordinary life, of work and rest, of joy and sorrow, of birth and death. The people here face the same challenges that people have always faced. They worry about their families, their health, their futures. They struggle with difficult relationships and uncertain circumstances. But there is a quality of peace in this village, a sense of acceptance, of contentment, of being at home in the world. Perhaps they have learned, through generations of living close to the land, what is within their power and what is not. Perhaps they have found the wisdom that the ancient teachers spoke of. We walk through the village, greeting the people we pass. They smile and nod, welcoming us without curiosity or suspicion. We are strangers, but we are also fellow travelers on the journey of life. We stop at a small well in the center of the village and draw up a bucket of cool water. We drink deeply, the water fresh and sweet. It quenches a thirst we did not know we had. As we drink, an old woman approaches us. Her face is lined with age, her hair white as snow, but her eyes are bright and clear, full of life and wisdom. She asks where we are going, and we tell her we are not sure. We are just walking, just exploring, just following the path wherever it leads. She smiles and nods as if this is exactly the right answer. She says that the path will take us where we need to go if we trust it. She says that the journey is the destination, and the destination is the journey. We thank her for her wisdom, and she laughs gently. She says she has no wisdom, only experience, only the lessons that life has taught her over many years, only the peace that comes from accepting what cannot be changed. She touches our arm gently and then walks away, disappearing into one of the houses. We stand by the well for a moment, feeling the warmth of her blessing, and then we continue on our way, through the village and out the other side, following the river as it winds through the valley. The afternoon is passing now. The sun is beginning its descent toward the horizon, casting long shadows across the land. The light is golden and warm, the air soft and still. We are approaching another forest, the trees tall and ancient. But this forest is different from the one we walked through in the night. It is full of light, the sun filtering through the leaves and creating patterns of gold and green on the forest floor. We enter the forest and feel a sense of peace settle over us. The trees are like old friends, welcoming us into their presence. The air is cool and fragrant, smelling of pine and earth. As we walk, let us think about the nature of happiness. What is it that we truly want? What is it that will bring us lasting satisfaction? The ancient teachers said that happiness is not found in external things. It is not found in wealth or fame or pleasure. These things are pleasant, but they are also fleeting. They come and go, and when they go, they leave us wanting more. True happiness, they said, is found in virtue, in living according to our nature, in being the kind of person we want to be, in treating others with kindness and justice, in facing life with courage and wisdom. This kind of happiness does not depend on external circumstances. It is available to us in any situation, in any moment. It is within our power, always. This is a radical idea. It goes against everything our culture tells us. We are constantly bombarded with messages that happiness is out there, in the next purchase, the next achievement, the next relationship. But the ancient teachers say that happiness is in here, in the quality of our character, in the way we respond to life. The forest is quiet around us. The only sounds are the rustling of leaves, the call of birds, the soft crunch of our footsteps on the path. We walk in silence, letting the teaching settle into us. What if they were right? What if happiness really is within our power? What if we have been looking in the wrong place all along? This is not a reason for despair. It is a reason for hope. Because if happiness depends on external things, we are at the mercy of the world. But if happiness depends on our own choices, we are free. We can choose to be happy. Not by pretending that everything is fine when it is not. Not by suppressing our feelings or denying our difficulties, but by focusing on what is within our power, by cultivating virtue, by being present, by accepting what we cannot change. This is the path to lasting happiness. Not a happiness that depends on things going our way, but a happiness that is available to us no matter what happens. The forest opens up ahead, and we emerge into a wide meadow. The sun is setting now, painting the sky with colours of orange and pink and purple. The beauty is breathtaking, a reminder of the wonder that is always available to us if we have eyes to see. We find a soft spot in the grass and sit down to watch the sunset. The colours are changing moment by moment, the sky a canvas of light and shadow. We breathe deeply and feel the peace of this place. As the sun sinks below the horizon, let us think about the end of things, about death, which the ancient teachers said we should contemplate regularly. This might seem morbid, but it is actually liberating, because when we remember that we will die, we remember what matters. We stop wasting time on things that do not matter. We appreciate the time we have. We live more fully, more deeply, more authentically. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a threat. It is an invitation to live with urgency and purpose, an invitation to focus on what is truly important, an invitation to let go of the petty concerns that distract us from what matters. The ancient teachers did not fear death. They saw it as natural, as part of the cycle of life. They said that we should accept it, prepare for it, and not let it prevent us from living fully. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This is the real tragedy, not that we die, but that we do not live, that we spend our days on things that do not matter, that we let fear and worry and distraction steal our precious time. The dichotomy of control helps us here too. We cannot control when or how we will die, but we can control how we live. We can choose to use our time wisely. We can choose to focus on what matters. We can choose to be present, to be kind, to be at peace. The last light of the sun fades from the sky. The stars are beginning to appear, faint at first, then brighter as the darkness deepens. The meadow is quiet, the world settling into the peace of night. We lie back in the grass and look up at the stars. They are the same stars that Seneca watched from his garden, the same stars that Marcus Aurelius contemplated from his palace, the same stars that have shone down on countless generations of human beings, all of them struggling with the same questions, all of them seeking the same peace. We are connected to all of them across time and space. We are part of the same human family, the same cosmic story. We are small, yes. Our lives are brief, but we are also part of something vast and beautiful and eternal. And in this moment, lying in the meadow under the stars, we feel at peace. Not because everything is perfect, not because we have solved all our problems, but because we have found a way to be at home in the world, just as it is. This is the gift of the ancient teachers. This is the wisdom they have passed down to us. This is the peace that comes from understanding what is within our power and what is not. Let us rest here for a while, in this quiet meadow, under the vast sky. Let us breathe deeply and feel the earth beneath us. Let us release the tensions we have been holding, the worries we have been carrying. There is nothing we need to do right now. nothing we need to figure out, nothing we need to control. We can simply be, simply rest, simply let go. The night deepens around us. The stars wheel slowly overhead. The universe continues its ancient dance, and we are part of it, held in its embrace. Let us think about the people we love. Let us hold them in our hearts with gratitude and tenderness. We cannot control what happens to them. We cannot protect them from all harm. But we can love them. We can be present with them. We can appreciate them while they are here. This is within our power. This is always within our power. And it is enough. Let us think about ourselves with the same kindness and compassion. We have made mistakes. We have fallen short of our ideals. We have caused harm, sometimes to others, sometimes to ourselves. But we are also capable of growth. We are capable of learning. We are capable of becoming more wise, more kind, more at peace. This is within our power. This is always within our power. Let us forgive ourselves for our failures. Let us release the guilt and shame we have been carrying. Let us recognize that we are human, that we are imperfect, that we are doing the best we can with what we have. And let us commit gently and without pressure to continuing on the path, to practicing the teachings we have learned, to focusing on what is within our power, to accepting what is not. The night is deep now. The stars are bright. The meadow is quiet. And we are at peace. Let us drift now, gently and slowly, towards sleep. Let the words we have heard settle into us, like seeds planted in fertile soil. They will grow in their own time, in their own way. We do not need to force them. We have explored the dichotomy of control. We have sat with the ancient teachers. We have walked through forests and meadows, beside lakes and rivers. We have watched the sun rise and set. We have looked up at the stars, and through it all, we have been learning the same lesson in different forms, that some things are within our power and some things are not. That peace comes from knowing the difference. That freedom is found not in controlling the world, but in mastering ourselves. This is not a lesson we learn once and then know forever. It is a lesson we learn again and again, in every moment, in every situation. It is a practice, not an achievement, a path, not a destination. And we are on that path now, walking gently, step by step. We do not need to hurry. We do not need to arrive. We just need to keep walking, keep practicing, keep returning to what we know to be true. The night holds us gently. The earth supports us. The sky stretches above us, vast and infinite, and we are at peace. Let the breath come and go, easy and natural. Let the body relax, releasing the tensions of the day. Let the mind quiet, releasing the thoughts that no longer serve us. We are safe here. We are held. We are home. The ancient teachers are with us, their wisdom echoing across the centuries. Epictetus, who found freedom in slavery. Seneca, who found peace in exile. Marcus Aurelius, who found serenity in power. They speak to us still in the quiet of the night. They remind us of what we already know. They invite us to return again and again to the truth that sets us free. Some things are within our power, some things are not. And knowing the difference is the beginning of all peace. Let us rest now in this knowing. Let us sleep, held by the wisdom of the ages. Let us dream, carried by the gentle current of life. The night is long and peaceful. The stars continue their slow wheel across the sky. The earth turns, as it has for billions of years, patient and unhurried, and we are part of it all. We are woven into the fabric of existence. We are small, but we are not insignificant. We are brief, but we are not meaningless. We are here. We are alive. We are at peace. Let the darkness embrace us. Let the silence surround us. Let the peace that passes understanding fill our hearts. We have come a long way tonight. We have travelled through landscapes of thought and feeling, of memory and imagination. We have sat with teachers and walked through forests, watched sunsets and gazed at stars. And now it is time to rest. Time to let go of the journey. Time to surrender to the night. The dichotomy of control will be here when we wake. The practice will continue. The path will unfold before us, step by step. But for now, we can simply be. Simply rest. Simply let go. The breath comes and goes. The heart beats, steady and strong. The body relaxes, sinking into the earth. We are safe. We are held. We are home. Let the ancient wisdom carry us now, like a river carrying a leaf. Let it take us where we need to go. Let it bring us to the peace that has always been waiting for us. We do not need to control the current. We do not need to know the destination. We just need to trust, to surrender, to let go. The night is deep and quiet. The stars shine down upon us. The universe continues its ancient dance, and we are at peace. Let the eyes close now, if they have not already. Let the body find its most comfortable position. Let the breath slow and deepen. We have done enough for today. We have learned enough. We have practiced enough. Now it is time to rest. The ancient teachers would approve. They knew the value of rest. They knew that the mind needs time to integrate what it has learned. They knew that sleep is not a waste of time, but a necessary part of the practice. So let us sleep now with their blessing. Let us dream of peaceful meadows and quiet lakes, of wise teachers and gentle paths. And when we wake, we will continue the journey. We will practice the teachings. We will focus on what is within our power and release what is not. But for now we rest. The night holds us gently. The earth supports us. The sky watches over us. We are safe. We are held. We are home. Let the peace of this moment extend into sleep. Let it carry us through the night, into the morning, into the days to come. We have found something precious tonight, a teaching that has brought peace to countless souls across thousands of years, a wisdom that is as relevant now as it was when it was first spoken. Let us hold it gently, without grasping. Let us practice it patiently, without pressure. Let us return to it again and again, whenever we lose our way. Some things are within our power, some things are not. And knowing the difference is the beginning of all peace. This is the dichotomy of control. This is the path to freedom. This is the wisdom of the ages. And it is ours now. It has always been ours. We have simply remembered. Let us rest in this remembering. Let us sleep in this peace. Let us dream in this freedom. The night is long and gentle. The stars are bright and distant. The universe is vast and beautiful, and we are part of it all. We are home. The breath comes and goes, easy and natural. The body is relaxed, heavy with peace. The mind is quiet, still as a lake at dawn. We have travelled far tonight, through ancient cities and quiet forests, through meadows of wildflowers and valleys of gentle rivers, through the wisdom of teachers who lived thousands of years ago. And we have found what we were looking for, not outside ourselves, but within, not in the control of the world, but in the mastery of our own minds. This is the gift of the ancient teachers. This is the inheritance they have left us. This is the peace that is always available if we have the wisdom to receive it. Let us receive it now. Let us accept it fully. Let us rest in its embrace. The night continues, deep and quiet. The world sleeps around us, and we sleep too, held by the wisdom of the ages. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to figure out, nothing more to control. We can simply be, simply rest, simply let go. And in that letting go, we find everything we have been seeking: peace, freedom, home. The ancient teachers smile upon us. They have given us their wisdom. They have shown us the path. Now it is up to us to walk it. But not tonight. Tonight, we rest. Tomorrow, the practice continues. Tomorrow, the journey unfolds. Tomorrow, we will face new challenges, new difficulties, new opportunities to practice what we have learned. But tonight, we sleep. The breath comes and goes. The heart beats. The body rests. We are safe. We are held. We are home. Let the night carry us now gently and slowly into the depths of sleep. Let it hold us in its embrace, like a mother holding a child. We have done well tonight. We have explored important ideas. We have sat with wise teachers. We have found peace. Now it is time to let go, to surrender, to trust. The universe will continue its dance while we sleep. The stars will wheel across the sky. The earth will turn. Life will go on. And when we wake, we will be refreshed. We will be renewed. We will be ready to practice again. But for now, we rest. The dichotomy of control, the wisdom of the ages, the peace that passes understanding. These are ours now. They have always been ours. Let us rest in this knowing. Let us sleep in this peace. Let us dream in this freedom. The night is deep and quiet. The world is at rest, and so are we. We are safe. We are held. We are home. Good night, gentle traveller. May your sleep be peaceful. May your dreams be sweet. May you wake refreshed, ready to practice the wisdom you have learned. Some things are within your power. Some things are not. And knowing the difference is the beginning of all peace. Rest now. Sleep now. Let go now. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The breath comes and goes, easy and natural. The body is relaxed, sinking into the earth. The mind is quiet, still as a deep pool. We have come to the end of our journey tonight, but it is not really an end. It is a pause, a rest, a moment of stillness before the journey continues. The teachings we have explored will stay with us. They will work in us, even as we sleep. They will grow and deepen, becoming part of who we are. And when we wake, we will be different. Not dramatically, not suddenly, but subtly, gently. We will be a little more at peace, a little more accepting, a little more free. This is the power of the ancient wisdom. It changes us slowly but surely. It shapes us like water shapes stone. It brings us, step by step, closer to the peace we seek. So let us rest now, trusting in this process. Let us sleep, knowing that the work continues even in our unconscious. Let us dream, allowing the wisdom to integrate at the deepest levels. The night is long and peaceful. The stars shine down upon us. The universe holds us in its vast embrace. We are safe. We are held. We are home. Let the peace of this moment extend into sleep. Let it carry us through the night. Let it be with us when we wake. We have found something precious tonight. Let us not forget it. Let us return to it again and again whenever we need it. Some things are within our power. Some things are not. And knowing the difference is the beginning of all peace. This is the dichotomy of control. This is the path to freedom. This is the wisdom that has brought peace to countless souls across thousands of years. And it is ours now. It has always been ours. Let us rest in this truth. Let us sleep in this peace. Let us dream in this freedom. The night embraces us. The silence surrounds us. The peace fills us. We are safe. We are held. We are home. Good night. The breath comes and goes. The heart beats. The body rests. We are at peace. We are home. We are free. The dichotomy of control. A continued journey. Part 2. Deeper into the realm. Continuation of the Deep Sleep Studios script. And so our journey continues, dear traveller. The silver path stretches onward before us, winding through landscapes we have yet to discover. The gentle light that has guided us thus far remains steady and warm, illuminating each step with patient radiance. As you settle more deeply into comfort, allow your breath to find its natural rhythm once more. There is no need to direct it or shape it in any particular way. Simply notice how it flows, like a gentle tide, in and out, carrying you further into relaxation with each passing moment. The world we have been exploring together holds many more wonders. Places where the lessons of what we can and cannot control reveal themselves in new and beautiful ways. Creatures whose very existence demonstrates the profound peace that comes from understanding this ancient wisdom. Let us continue walking together. The path is soft beneath our feet, and the air carries the faint scent of night-blooming flowers. Stars wheel slowly overhead, their ancient light a reminder that some things have been constant since long before our time, and will remain so long after. The Valley of Echoing Thoughts. Our path now descends gently into a valley unlike any we have encountered before. This is the Valley of Echoing Thoughts, a place where the landscape itself seems to respond to the nature of our inner world. The valley is vast and bowl-shaped, its sides rising in gentle slopes, covered with soft moss that glows faintly silver in the starlight. At the center of the valley lies a still pool, its surface so perfectly calm that it reflects the night sky above with mirror-like precision. As we enter this valley, notice something curious. The air here carries sounds, whispers, murmurs, fragments of words that seem to drift on invisible currents. These are the echoes of thoughts, both our own and those of countless travelers who have passed through this place before us. Some of these thought echoes are anxious, carrying the weight of worry and concern. They swirl around us briefly, their energy restless and seeking. But watch what happens when we simply observe them without trying to push them away or hold on to them. They drift past, like leaves on a gentle stream. They do not attach themselves to us unless we reach out to grasp them. They do not harm us unless we believe they have that power. They are simply thoughts, echoes of mental activity that arise and pass away, as natural and inevitable as the changing of seasons. This is one of the great truths about our inner world, dear traveller. We cannot always control what thoughts arise in our minds. They come unbidden, triggered by memories, by sensations, by the mysterious workings of our consciousness. A worried thought may appear. A memory of something painful may surface. A fear about the future may whisper its concerns. But while we cannot control the arising of these thoughts, we can control how we respond to them. We can choose whether to engage with them, to feed them with attention and energy, or simply to acknowledge their presence and let them pass. Here in the valley of echoing thoughts, this truth becomes visible. Watch as a thought echo approaches you now, perhaps something you've been worried about, or a concern that has been lingering at the edges of your awareness. See it as a small cloud of shimmering mist carrying its message in whispered tones. You have a choice in this moment. You can reach out and grasp this thought cloud, pulling it close and examining every detail of its worry. You can argue with it, resist it, try to push it away with force, or you can simply acknowledge it. I see you, you might say silently. I recognize that you are here, and I choose to let you pass. Watch what happens when you make this choice. The thought cloud hovers for a moment, as if surprised by your calm response. Then, slowly, it begins to drift away, carried by the gentle currents of the valley. It does not disappear entirely. It joins the other echoes that swirl through this place, but it no longer demands your attention. It no longer has power over your peace. This is not suppression or denial. You are not pretending the thought doesn't exist or forcing yourself to feel differently than you do. You are simply recognizing the boundary between what arises in your mind and how you choose to relate to it. Let us walk further into the valley, toward the central pool. With each step, more thought echoes drift past us. Some carry joy, remnants of happy memories and hopeful dreams. Some carry sadness, the residue of losses and disappointments. Some carry fear, others carry love. Still others carry confusion or curiosity or wonder. All of these are natural. All of these are part of the rich tapestry of human experience, and none of them need to be grasped or pushed away. They can simply be witnessed, acknowledged, and allowed to continue on their way. As we reach the edge of the pool, look down into its still surface. The reflection shows not just the stars above, but something more. It shows you, dear traveller, as you truly are in this moment. Not the anxious thoughts that sometimes visit your mind, not the worries about tomorrow or regrets about yesterday. Simply you, here, now, at peace. The pool is called the mirror of present awareness, and it has a remarkable property. It only reflects what is actually happening in this moment. It cannot show the future, because the future does not yet exist. It cannot show the past, because the past has already dissolved into memory. It can only show now, this breath, this heartbeat, this gentle moment of being alive. Gaze into the mirror and see the truth it reveals. In this precise moment, you are safe. You are breathing. You are resting. Whatever challenges may await in the hours or days ahead, they are not here now. Whatever difficulties may have occurred in the past, they are not happening now. There is only this moment, this peace, this gentle presence. This is what we can control: our attention, our focus, our choice about where to direct the light of our awareness. We can choose to shine that light on worries about things that may never happen, or we can choose to shine it on the reality of this present moment, a reality that, more often than not, contains much more peace than our anxious thoughts would have us believe. Rest here by the pool for a moment, dear traveller. Let the stillness of the water teach you about the stillness that is always available within. The surface may sometimes ripple with passing breezes, thoughts, emotions, sensations, but beneath the surface, in the depths, there is a calm that remains undisturbed. You carry this deep calm within you always. It is not something you need to create or achieve. It is simply something you can remember, return to, and rest in. The valley of echoing thoughts, with all its swirling whispers, cannot disturb this inner peace unless you forget that it exists. The creatures of the canopy. When you are ready, we will continue our journey. The path now leads us out of the valley and into a different kind of landscape, a forest of tremendous trees whose branches interweave high above, creating a living canopy that filters the starlight into dancing patterns on the forest floor. These are the wisdom trees, and they are ancient beyond measure. Their trunks are so wide that it would take many people joining hands to encircle even the smallest of them. Their bark is deeply grooved with patterns that seem almost like writing, as if the trees have been recording the stories of all who have passed beneath their branches. But it is not the trees themselves that I want to show you now. It is the creatures that make their home in the canopy above. Beings that have much to teach us about living in harmony with the dichotomy of control. Look up, dear traveller, and you will see them moving among the branches. They are called the canopy dwellers, and they come in many forms. Some resemble birds with luminous feathers that leave trails of soft light as they fly. Others look like small mammals with large, wise eyes and fur that shimmers with bioluminescence. Still others are harder to describe, creatures of pure light and movement, dancing between the leaves like living stars. What all these beings share is a remarkable quality of adaptability. They have made their home in the canopy, a place of constant change. Branches sway in the wind. Leaves grow and fall with the seasons. Storms sometimes shake the entire forest, sending the canopy dwellers scattering to find new perches, new pathways, new configurations of safety. And yet, they thrive, not despite this constant change, but in harmony with it. Watch the luminous birds as they fly from branch to branch. They do not try to stop the branches from swaying. They do not exhaust themselves fighting against the movement of the wind. Instead, they have learned to read the rhythms of the forest, to anticipate the swing of a branch and time their landing perfectly, to use the wind currents to carry them rather than struggling against the air. This is wisdom in action, dear traveller. The canopy dwellers cannot control the movement of the branches or the direction of the wind. These things are beyond their influence, but they can control how they respond, their timing, their positioning, their willingness to adapt and flow with the changes rather than rigidly resisting them. One of the luminous birds descends now, landing on a low branch near where we stand. It regards us with eyes like polished amber, ancient and knowing. In its gaze, there is no anxiety, no worry about what the next gust of wind might bring. There is only presence, alertness, and a deep trust in its own ability to respond to whatever arises. This bird has never known a day without change. Every moment of its existence has been spent in a world of movement and flux. And yet it is utterly at peace. Not because it has somehow stopped the world from changing, that would be impossible, but because it has accepted change as the fundamental nature of its environment and learned to dance with it rather than against it. We can learn so much from this small, luminous creature. How much of our suffering comes from expecting the world to be stable when stability is not its nature? How much energy do we waste trying to hold things in place when everything is designed to flow and change? The branch the bird sits on begins to sway as a gentle breeze moves through the canopy. Without hesitation, without any visible concern, the bird adjusts its grip, shifts its weight, and continues to rest peacefully. The movement is not a problem to be solved. It is simply a characteristic of the environment, as natural and unremarkable as the colour of the leaves. As we walk further into the forest, we encounter more canopy dwellers, each demonstrating this same quality of adaptive peace. A small, glowing mammal leaps from one branch to another, perfectly timing its jump to coincide with the moment when the two branches swing closest together. A creature of light weaves between falling leaves, incorporating their descent into its dance rather than trying to avoid them. There is a profound lesson here about the nature of control. These beings have not achieved peace by gaining control over their environment. Such control would be impossible in a world of constant change. They have achieved peace by mastering what they can control: their own responses, their own choices, their own relationship with the ever-shifting world around them. The forest floor beneath us is soft with accumulated leaves, each one a reminder that even the trees themselves release what they cannot keep. The leaves fall not in failure, but in wisdom, making room for new growth, returning their nutrients to the soil, participating in the great cycle of change that sustains all life. Let us rest here for a moment, dear traveller, beneath the dancing canopy. Feel the soft ground beneath you, supporting your weight. Listen to the gentle sounds of the canopy dwellers moving through the branches above. Breathe in the rich scent of the forest, earth and leaves, and the subtle sweetness of tree sap. In this moment, you are part of the forest's great rhythm. Your breath joins the breathing of the trees. Your heartbeat joins the pulse of life that flows through every root and branch. You are not separate from this world of change. You are woven into it, a participant in its endless dance. And like the canopy dwellers, you can learn to move with this dance rather than against it. You can learn to read the rhythms of your own life, to anticipate the swings and shifts, to time your responses with wisdom rather than reacting with fear. You can learn to use the winds of change to carry you forward rather than exhausting yourself in resistance. This is not passive acceptance of whatever happens. The canopy dwellers are not passive. They are actively engaged with their environment, constantly making choices, constantly adjusting. But their engagement is wise rather than anxious. They work with reality rather than against it. They save their energy for the things they can actually influence and waste none of it on futile resistance to the things they cannot. The river of time. Our path continues, leading us out of the forest and toward a sound that has been growing gradually louder, the sound of flowing water. Not the gentle lapping of the pools we encountered earlier, but something more dynamic, more alive, with movement and energy. We emerge from the trees to find ourselves on the bank of a great river. This is the river of time, and it flows through all the lands we have been exploring, connecting them in ways both visible and hidden. The river is wide here, its waters moving with steady purpose toward a horizon we cannot see. The surface catches the starlight and breaks it into countless dancing reflections, so that the river seems to be carrying a cargo of light toward some distant destination. Stand with me on the bank, dear traveller, and watch the water flow. Notice how it moves, always forward, never backward, carrying whatever falls into it toward the future, while leaving the past behind. The river of time teaches one of the most important lessons about control. We cannot stop its flow, we cannot reverse its direction, and we cannot step into the same water twice. What has passed is gone forever, carried downstream beyond our reach. What is coming has not yet arrived, still hidden around the bends ahead. We have only this moment, this single point where we stand on the bank, watching the eternal flow. So many of us spend our lives trying to swim upstream, exhausting ourselves in the effort to return to moments that have already passed. We replay old conversations, wishing we had said something different. We revisit old decisions, tormenting ourselves with alternative choices we might have made. We cling to versions of ourselves and others that no longer exist, refusing to accept that the river has carried them away. But the river does not flow backward, no matter how desperately we might wish it to. The past is beyond our control, not because we lack the strength to change it, but because it no longer exists except as memory. Fighting against this truth is like fighting against gravity or the turning of the earth. It is a battle that cannot be won, only lost at great cost to our peace and energy. Watch a leaf fall from an overhanging branch into the river. See how quickly the current takes it, spinning it gently as it carries it downstream. Within moments, the leaf has travelled beyond our sight, joining the countless other things the river has carried away over the ages. This is how our moments pass, dear traveller. Each breath, each heartbeat, each thought and sensation, they arise, exist briefly, and then are carried away by the river of time. We cannot hold on to them any more than we could hold onto that leaf. We can only experience them fully while they are here, and then release them with grace when the current takes them. There is grief in this truth, and it is right to feel it. The passing of precious moments, the loss of beloved times and people and versions of ourselves, these are worthy of mourning. But there is also liberation here. If we cannot hold on to the past, then we also cannot be held by it. If the river carries away our joys, it also carries away our sorrows. Each moment offers a fresh beginning, a new opportunity, a clean page on which to write. Now look downstream, toward the future that awaits. The river continues flowing in that direction, carrying our lives toward experiences we cannot yet imagine. Some of what awaits will be wonderful. Some will be challenging. Some will be ordinary and easily forgotten. But all of it is still forming, still being shaped by forces both within and beyond our control. We cannot see around the bends of the river. We cannot know what the future holds. This uncertainty can feel frightening. Our minds naturally want to know what's coming so we can prepare, protect, control. But the truth is that the future has always been uncertain, and we have always navigated it successfully, one moment at a time. What we can control is how we prepare ourselves for whatever the river brings. We can cultivate qualities that will serve us regardless of what lies ahead. Patience, resilience, wisdom, compassion. We can learn skills that will help us navigate both calm waters and rapids. We can build relationships that will support us through whatever comes. And most importantly, we can learn to trust ourselves. Not trust that we know what will happen. That kind of certainty is impossible. But trust that we have the capacity to respond, to adapt, to find our way through whatever circumstances arise. This is the deepest kind of security. Not the security of knowing the future, but the security of knowing ourselves. Let us sit here on the riverbank for a while, dear traveller. Let the sound of the flowing water soothe your mind. Let the sight of the starlight dancing on the surface remind you of beauty that exists in every moment, even moments of uncertainty and change. Feel the solid ground beneath you, this present moment, the only moment that is ever truly real. The past is memory, the future is imagination. But this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, these are actual, tangible, alive. This is where you live, dear traveller. Not in the waters that have already passed, not in the waters yet to come, but here, on this bank, in this eternal now. The lighthouse of inner guidance. As we continue along the riverbank, a new structure comes into view. A lighthouse standing on a rocky outcropping where the river widens into something almost like a small sea. The lighthouse is tall and graceful, built from white stone that seems to glow with its own inner light. At its top, a great beacon turns slowly, sending beams of warm golden light across the water. This is the lighthouse of inner guidance, and it represents something precious that each of us carries within: our capacity for wisdom, for knowing what is right for us, for finding our way even in the darkest and most confusing times. The lighthouse keeper is a figure we cannot quite see clearly, but whose presence we can feel ancient and kind, patient and wise. This keeper has been tending the light since before memory, ensuring that it never goes out, that it is always available to guide those who seek its illumination. But here is the important truth about this lighthouse, dear traveller. The keeper does not control who sees the light or how they respond to it. The beacon turns continuously, sending its guidance out into the darkness. But whether a traveller notices it, whether they trust it, whether they follow its direction, these choices belong to each individual soul. This is a perfect metaphor for the guidance that exists within you. You have an inner lighthouse, a source of wisdom that is always sending out its signals. Call it intuition, call it conscience, call it the still, small voice within. Whatever name you give it, this guidance is always available. It cannot be destroyed or taken from you. It is as much a part of you as your heartbeat, but the light can be obscured. When our minds are clouded with anxiety, the light becomes harder to see. When we are deafened by the noise of others' opinions, the light becomes harder to hear. When we have learned not to trust ourselves, we may see the light clearly, but choose not to follow it. None of these obscurations are permanent. The light itself never dims. It is only our perception of it that changes. And one of the most valuable things we can control is the clarity of our perception. We can choose to quiet our minds through practices like this one. We can choose to create space from the noise of the world. We can choose to rebuild trust in ourselves through small acts of following our inner guidance and noticing the results. Let us approach the lighthouse, dear traveller. As we draw closer, the light becomes more visible, more tangible. You may begin to feel it as a warmth in your chest, a sense of rightness, a quiet knowing that transcends logical analysis. This is your inner guidance making itself known. It has been with you all along, through every experience of your life. It was there in moments of clarity when you knew exactly what to do. It was there in moments of confusion, still sending its signals even when you couldn't perceive them. It will be there in all the moments yet to come, a faithful companion on your journey. You cannot control many things about your life, dear traveller, but you can control your relationship with this inner guidance. You can choose to listen for it. You can choose to trust it. You can choose to follow where it leads, even when the path is unclear to your logical mind. The lighthouse keeper, sensing our presence, sends a particularly bright pulse of light in our direction. Feel it wash over you like a wave of warmth and reassurance. This is not guidance about any specific decision or challenge. It is simply a reminder that guidance is available, that you are not alone in navigating your life, that wisdom greater than your conscious mind is always working on your behalf. Rest in this light for a moment. Let it illuminate any dark corners of worry or confusion within you. Let it remind you of your own capacity for wisdom, for knowing, for finding your way. Whatever challenges await you in the waking world, you carry this lighthouse within you. Its light cannot be extinguished by any external circumstance. It is yours, forever and always. The Garden of Acceptance. Our journey now takes us away from the river and toward a garden that has been calling to us since we began this exploration. This is the Garden of Acceptance, and it is perhaps the most beautiful place in all the lands we have visited. The garden is vast, stretching in all directions, farther than the eye can see. But unlike ordinary gardens, which are organized by type of plant or color of flower, this garden is organized by something more subtle, by the quality of acceptance that each area represents. As we enter through a gate made of intertwined branches, we find ourselves in a section devoted to the acceptance of physical reality. Here grow plants that have adapted to their circumstances in remarkable ways, trees that have grown around obstacles, flowers that bloom in the cracks of rocks, vines that have found their way to light through seemingly impossible paths. None of these plants fought against their circumstances. None of them wasted energy wishing their environment were different. They simply accepted what was and found ways to thrive within those constraints. A tree that encountered a boulder did not try to move the boulder. It grew around it, incorporating the obstacle into its very structure until the boulder became part of what made the tree unique and beautiful. This is what acceptance looks like in practice, dear traveller. Not passive resignation, not giving up, but creative engagement with reality as it actually is. The tree that grows around the boulder is not weaker than a tree that grew in open ground. In many ways, it is stronger, its trunk having developed extra resilience in response to the challenge. We walk deeper into the garden, entering a section devoted to the acceptance of emotions. Here the plants are different, more delicate perhaps, with flowers that seem to shimmer with feeling. Some bloom with the bright colours of joy. Others display the deeper hues of sadness. Still others show the complex patterns of anger, fear, love, and hope. All of these emotional flowers grow together in this section of the garden without hierarchy, without judgment. The garden does not value the flowers of joy more than the flowers of sadness. It does not try to eliminate the flowers of fear or force more flowers of happiness to bloom. It simply provides the conditions for all emotional experiences to arise, exist, and eventually pass away. This is what emotional acceptance looks like. We cannot always control what emotions arise within us. They are often triggered by circumstances beyond our influence, by memories, by the complex workings of our minds and bodies. But we can control how we relate to these emotions. We can welcome them all into the garden of our awareness, giving them space to exist without judgment, allowing them to teach us what they have to teach before they naturally fade. So many of us have been taught that some emotions are good and others are bad, that we should cultivate the good ones and eliminate the bad ones. But the Garden of Acceptance knows a deeper truth. all emotions are information. All emotions are part of the full human experience. Trying to have only positive emotions is like trying to have a garden with only one type of flower. It might seem desirable in theory, but it would be impoverished, lacking the richness and depth that comes from diversity. Walk with me through the emotional flowers, dear traveller. Notice which ones draw your attention. Perhaps there is an emotion you have been trying to avoid, a flower you have been trying to uproot from your inner garden. See it here, growing peacefully among all the others, neither more nor less valuable than any other bloom. Can you offer it acceptance? Not approval, necessarily. You don't have to like the emotion or want it to stay forever. Just acceptance of its right to exist, its place in the garden, its role in making you a complete human being. This acceptance is itself a form of control, not control over the emotion, but control over your relationship with it. We continue walking, entering a section devoted to the acceptance of other people. Here, the garden becomes even more diverse, with plants from every climate and region growing side by side. Tropical flowers bloom next to alpine mosses. Desert cacti stand near water-loving ferns. Each plant maintains its own nature, while coexisting with others whose natures are completely different. This section teaches us about accepting the people in our lives as they actually are, rather than as we wish they would be. We cannot control other people, their thoughts, their feelings, their choices, their behaviors. We can influence them, certainly. We can communicate our needs, set boundaries, offer love and support. But ultimately, each person is their own garden, growing according to their own nature. How much suffering comes from expecting others to be different than they are? How much energy do we waste trying to change people who can only change themselves? The garden of acceptance shows us another way, a way of appreciating others for who they actually are, of finding beauty in their unique nature, even when it differs from our own, of releasing the exhausting project of trying to make everyone match our preferences. This doesn't mean accepting harmful behavior or staying in situations that damage us. The garden has boundaries, fences that protect certain areas, paths that guide visitors away from plants that might be dangerous. Acceptance of others includes acceptance of our own need for protection and well-being. We can accept that someone is who they are, while also accepting that who they are is not compatible with our peace and happiness. Finally, we come to the heart of the garden, a circular clearing where a single, magnificent tree grows. This is the tree of self-acceptance, and it is the most important plant in the entire garden. The tree is ancient and vast, its branches spreading wide to create a canopy of shelter and shade. Its trunk is gnarled and marked by countless seasons of growth, some of which were clearly difficult. There are scars where branches broke, places where the bark healed over wounds, evidence of storms weathered and droughts survived. And yet the tree is beautiful, not despite its imperfections, but including them. Each scar, each gnarl, each asymmetry tells a story of resilience and survival. The tree does not wish it had grown differently. It does not compare itself to other trees and find itself lacking. It simply is what it is, the sum of all its experiences, the embodiment of its own unique journey. This is what self-acceptance looks like, dear traveller. You, too, are marked by your experiences. You carry scars from difficult times, evidence of storms weathered and droughts survived. Parts of you grew in unexpected directions. Parts of you developed extra strength in response to challenges. Parts of you are still healing from old wounds. All of this is you. All of this is worthy of acceptance. We cannot control everything that has happened to us. We cannot go back and grow differently, make different choices, avoid the experiences that shaped us. But we can control how we relate to ourselves now, in this moment. We can choose acceptance over judgment, compassion over criticism, understanding over condemnation. Sit beneath the tree of self-acceptance, dear traveller. Let its shade provide comfort. Let its presence remind you of your own resilience, your own beauty, your own worthiness of love and acceptance, especially from yourself. You are enough exactly as you are. Not because you are perfect, but because perfection was never the goal. The goal is growth, and growth requires accepting where you are now as the starting point for where you might go next. The goal is peace, and peace requires releasing the war against yourself that judgment and criticism perpetuate. Rest here in the heart of the garden. Breathe in the sweet air, fragrant with countless flowers. Feel the soft ground beneath you, supporting your weight. Know that you belong here, in this place of acceptance, and that you can carry this place within you wherever you go. The Observatory of Perspective. When you are ready, we will continue to one final destination, a place that offers perhaps the most powerful teaching about the dichotomy of control. Rise gently from beneath the tree of self-acceptance and follow the path that leads upward toward a hill at the edge of the garden. At the top of this hill stands an observatory, a domed building with walls that seem to be made of crystal, allowing views in all directions. This is the Observatory of Perspective, and from here we can see the entire landscape we have been travelling through. Enter the observatory with me, dear traveller. The interior is simple, a circular room with a floor of polished stone and a ceiling that opens to the stars above. But the walls are the remarkable feature. Through them, we can see everything. The valley of echoing thoughts, the forest of wisdom trees, the river of time, the lighthouse of inner guidance, the garden of acceptance. All the places we have visited are visible from here, connected by the silver path we have been walking. And from this elevated perspective, something becomes clear that was harder to see when we were in the midst of each location. All of these places are part of a single landscape. All of these teachings are part of a single wisdom. The dichotomy of control is not many lessons. It is one lesson seen from many angles. The lesson is this: peace comes from aligning our efforts with reality. When we try to control what cannot be controlled, we suffer. When we fail to exercise control over what we can control, we also suffer. Wisdom lies in knowing the difference and acting accordingly. From the observatory of perspective, we can see this truth playing out across the entire landscape. In the valley of echoing thoughts, we learned that we cannot control what thoughts arise, but we can control how we respond to them. In the forest, we learned from the canopy dwellers that we cannot control the movement of the world, but we can control our adaptation to it. At the river of time, we learned that we cannot control the flow of past and future, but we can control our presence in the now. At the lighthouse, we learned that we cannot control external guidance, but we can control our attention to inner wisdom. In the garden, we learned that we cannot control circumstances, emotions, others, or our past, but we can control our acceptance of all these things. One lesson, many expressions, and all of it pointing toward the same profound peace. But the observatory offers one more teaching, perhaps the most important of all. Look up through the open ceiling at the stars above. See how vast the universe is, how countless the points of light, how infinite the space that stretches in all directions. From this perspective, our individual concerns, the things we worry about, the things we try to control, the things that seem so important in our daily lives, take on a different quality. They are not diminished or dismissed. They still matter, but they are placed in context, seen as part of something much larger than our individual experience. The stars we see have been shining for billions of years. Many of them no longer exist. Their light is a message from the past, traveling across unimaginable distances to reach our eyes. Civilizations have risen and fallen while that light was in transit. Mountains have formed and eroded. Species have evolved and gone extinct. And still the light travelled on, indifferent to all of it, carrying its ancient message to whoever might be watching. This is the ultimate teaching about control, dear traveller. The universe is vast beyond comprehension, and we are small within it. We control almost nothing of the great cosmic story. The stars will continue their ancient burning whether we worry or rest easy. The galaxies will continue their slow rotation whether we succeed or fail in our personal endeavours. Time will continue its flow whether we accept it or rage against it. And yet, and this is the beautiful paradox, our smallness does not make us insignificant. We are the universe becoming aware of itself. We are stardust that has learned to wonder at the stars. We are the cosmos experiencing itself through these particular eyes, this particular mind, this particular moment of consciousness. We matter, not because we control the universe, but because we are part of it. Our joys and sorrows, our struggles and triumphs, our moments of peace and moments of turmoil, all of these are the universe feeling itself, knowing itself, being itself through us. This perspective does not solve our problems or eliminate our challenges, but it can change our relationship with them. When we remember how vast the context is, our problems often seem more manageable. When we remember that we are part of something so much larger than ourselves, we can sometimes release the desperate grip of control and trust in the larger unfolding. Stand here in the observatory of perspective, dear traveller, and let this vast view wash over you. Let it remind you of your place in the cosmic story, small in scale, but infinite in significance. Let it help you release what you cannot control and embrace what you can. Let it bring you peace. The return path. Our journey through the lands of the dichotomy of control is drawing toward its close. But before we part, let us walk together one more time along the silver path, returning through the landscapes we have visited, carrying with us the wisdom we have gathered. We descend from the observatory, the vast perspective still fresh in our minds. The stars wheel slowly overhead, ancient and patient, reminding us of the context in which our lives unfold. We pass through the garden of acceptance, where the flowers of every emotion bloom without judgment. We carry with us the gift of self-acceptance, the knowledge that we are enough exactly as we are, the freedom that comes from releasing the war against ourselves. We walk by the lighthouse of inner guidance, its beacon still turning, still sending out its light. We carry with us the reminder that wisdom lives within us, always available, always faithful, a guide we can trust even when the path is unclear. We follow the river of time, its waters still flowing toward the future, still carrying away the past. We carry with us the understanding that we live only in the present moment, that the past cannot be changed and the future cannot be known, that peace is found in accepting the flow rather than fighting it. We pass through the forest of wisdom trees, where the canopy dwellers still dance among the swaying branches. We carry with us the lesson of adaptive peace, the ability to move with change rather than against it, the wisdom of saving our energy for what we can actually influence. We cross through the valley of echoing thoughts, where whispers still drift on the air. We carry with us the freedom that comes from knowing we are not our thoughts, that we can observe them without being controlled by them, that we have choice in how we respond to whatever arises in our minds. And finally, we arrive back where we began, at the place where the silver path first appeared, where this journey into the lands of wisdom started. But we are not the same as when we began. We have been changed by what we have seen and learned. We carry within us now a deeper understanding of what we can and cannot control, and a greater peace that comes from aligning our efforts with this truth. Carrying the wisdom home. As this journey comes to an end, dear traveller, know that you can return to these lands whenever you need their wisdom. The silver path is always available to you. The valley, the forest, the river, the lighthouse, the garden, the observatory, all of these places exist within you, accessible through the simple act of turning your attention inward. The dichotomy of control is not a lesson you learn once and then know forever. It is a practice, a way of being, a constant returning to wisdom when you have strayed into the confusion of trying to control the uncontrollable or neglecting to exercise the control that is truly yours. There will be times when you forget. There will be times when anxiety takes hold and you find yourself grasping at things beyond your influence. There will be times when you surrender control over things that are actually within your power to change. This is not failure, it is simply being human. When these times come, remember the lands we have visited together. Remember the mirror of present awareness, showing you that this moment is often more peaceful than your thoughts suggest. Remember the canopy dwellers, demonstrating that adaptation to change is possible and even graceful. Remember the river of time, teaching that the past is gone and the future is not yet here. Remember the lighthouse, reminding you that inner guidance is always available. Remember the garden, offering acceptance for all that you are and all that you experience. Remember the observatory, providing perspective on your place in the vast cosmic story. These memories are tools you can use, dear traveller. They are not just pleasant images, but practical wisdom that can help you navigate the challenges of daily life. When you face a difficult situation, you can ask yourself, what can I actually control here? What is beyond my control? Where should I focus my energy? When you find yourself worrying about the future, you can remember the river of time and return your attention to the present moment, where life actually happens. When you find yourself ruminating about the past, you can remember that those waters have already flowed downstream and cannot be recalled. When you feel overwhelmed by emotions, you can remember the garden of acceptance and give those emotions space to exist without judgment, knowing they will pass in their own time. When you feel lost or confused, you can remember the lighthouse and turn your attention inward, listening for the guidance that is always available. When you feel small and insignificant, you can remember the observatory and the vast perspective it offers, not to diminish your importance, but to place your concerns in a context that makes them more manageable. When you feel like you should be able to control everything, the observatory can remind you that control was never the point. Participation in the great cosmic dance was always enough. A final blessing. And now, dear traveller, it is time for us to part. You will return to the waking world, carrying with you the gifts of this journey. I will remain here in these lands of wisdom, ready to guide you again whenever you choose to return. Before you go, receive this blessing. May you know the peace that comes from accepting what you cannot change. May you know the power that comes from changing what you can. May you know the wisdom that allows you to distinguish between the two. May your thoughts be like clouds passing through the sky of your awareness, noticed, acknowledged, and allowed to drift on. May your emotions be like flowers in a garden, all of them welcome, all of them temporary, all of them part of your beautiful human experience. May your relationship with time be peaceful, releasing the past with grace, meeting the future with trust, inhabiting the present with full attention. May your inner guidance shine bright, and may you have the courage to follow where it leads. May you accept yourself completely, your strengths and weaknesses, your successes and failures, your light and shadow, knowing that all of it makes you who you are, and who you are is enough. May you remember, in moments of struggle, that you are part of something vast and beautiful, that your small life is woven into the great tapestry of existence, that you matter in ways you cannot fully understand. And may you sleep now, deeply and peacefully, knowing that you are held by something larger than yourself, that you are safe in this moment, that all is well. Drifting into sleep. Let your eyes grow heavy now, if they haven't already. Let your body sink more deeply into whatever surface supports you. Let your breath become slower, softer, more like the breath of someone already dreaming. The silver path fades gently from view, but its presence remains, a subtle glow at the edge of your awareness. The lands we visited together become quiet, their inhabitants settling into their own rest, their lessons delivered, their wisdom shared. You are drifting now, dear traveller, drifting like a leaf on the river of time, carried gently toward the shores of sleep. Drifting like a canopy dweller finding a comfortable branch for the night. Drifting like a thought echo in the valley, moving peacefully through the air. There is nothing you need to do now, nothing you need to control, nothing you need to figure out or fix or change. There is only this moment, this breath, this gentle descent into rest. The lighthouse of inner guidance will watch over you while you sleep. The garden of acceptance will hold space for whatever dreams may come. The observatory will keep its vast perspective, reminding you even in sleep that you are part of something beautiful and infinite. Sleep now, dear traveller. Sleep deeply and well. And when you wake, may you carry with you the peace of these lands, the wisdom of the dichotomy of control, the knowledge that you are enough, exactly as you are. Rest now. Rest. All is well. Extended ambient passage for deepening sleep. In the silence that follows, there is only peace, the kind of peace that exists between stars in the spaces where light has not yet reached, the kind of peace that exists at the bottom of the ocean, where the turbulence of the surface is just a distant memory, the kind of peace that exists in the moment between breaths, when the body is perfectly still and the mind is perfectly quiet. This peace is your birthright, dear traveller. It is not something you have to earn or achieve. It is simply what remains when you stop fighting against what is, when you release the exhausting effort of trying to control the uncontrollable, when you finally allow yourself to rest. You are resting now, deeply, completely. The journey is over, and you have arrived at the destination that was always waiting for you, this moment of perfect peace, this surrender into sleep, this trust in the process of rest and renewal. Your body knows how to sleep. It has been doing it since before you were born, since you floated in the peaceful darkness before your first breath. Trust your body now. Let it do what it knows how to do. Let it carry you into the depths of rest, where healing happens, where dreams weave their mysterious stories, where you are renewed for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your mind knows how to rest. Even now, it is beginning to quiet, its usual chatter fading into a gentle hum, then into silence. Thoughts may still arise occasionally like bubbles rising from the bottom of a still pond, but they require no attention. They can simply rise and pop and disappear, leaving the surface of your awareness smooth and undisturbed. The night holds you. The darkness is not empty, but full of rest, full of peace, full of the potential for dreams. You are safe in this darkness. It is the same darkness that has cradled every sleeping being since the beginning of time. It is ancient and familiar, a return to something your deepest self remembers and trusts. Sleep now. Let go of the day that has passed. It is already becoming memory, its events and emotions fading like the last light of sunset. Whatever happened today, the joys and sorrows, the successes and challenges, the moments of connection and moments of difficulty, all of it is being released now, carried away by the river of time, making space for the new day that will eventually dawn. Let go of the day that is coming. It does not exist yet, and there is no need to meet it before it arrives. Whatever tomorrow may bring, you will face it then, with whatever resources you have available in that moment. For now, there is only rest. For now, there is only this breath, this heartbeat, this gentle descent into sleep. Let go of everything that is not this moment. The worries and plans, the memories and anticipations, the endless mental commentary that usually fills your waking hours. All of it can be set aside now. None of it is needed for sleep. None of it serves you in this moment. You have permission to release it all, to become empty, to become still, to become nothing but this breathing body, this resting mind, this peaceful presence. You are doing so well, dear traveller. You have journeyed far tonight through lands of wisdom and beauty. You have received teachings that will serve you for all the days of your life. And now you are receiving the final gift, the gift of deep, restorative sleep. Receive this gift fully. Let it wash over you like a warm wave. Let it carry you into depths of rest you may not have experienced in a long time. Let it heal whatever needs healing, restore whatever needs restoring, renew whatever needs renewing. The night is long, and there is time for all of this. There is time for dreams and time for dreamless sleep. There is time for your body to repair itself and your mind to process the experiences of the day. There is time for you to simply be without doing anything, without achieving anything, without controlling anything. This is the deepest rest, the rest that comes from complete surrender, the rest that comes from trusting the process of sleep, trusting your body, trusting the night, trusting that you will wake when it is time to wake, refreshed and renewed and ready for whatever comes next. Until then, there is only this peace, this stillness, this breath, this moment. Sleep well, dear traveller. Sleep deep, sleep long. May you wake to a world that seems a little brighter, a little more manageable, a little more beautiful, because you have learned the wisdom of the dichotomy of control. All is well, all is well, all is well. End of script. Total additional word count, approximately 7,500 words, combined with original 12,751 words, approximately 2,251 words.